So I'd like to introduce our final speaker, Romita Patel. She has a doctorate in physical therapy, and her time is now devoted to coaching individuals who are embarking on healthy lifestyle change or have been recently diagnosed with a disease and life-changing condition. One of her passions is educating and motivating individuals with neurological conditions like Parkinson's disease, stroke, and spinal cord injury, and she wants to help them increase their quality of life. So please welcome Romita.
When Lauren discussed with me presenting with you all today, I thought of a couple things. First, what type of information can I provide you guys? There's so much information out there that I cannot possibly fit it into a 30-minute session. So I also thought about, what exercise tips can I provide you? Again, there are so many exercises out there that I can provide with you. And I also thought about, how can I help you increase your current exercise program, as well as creating a new program. So I thought of 4 different topics that I want to discuss with you here today. The first one is motivating you to improve your function. Second, emphasize the importance of exercise. Third, maybe give you a couple tips to improve your function. And fourth, provide you information how physical therapy can help you. So when I thought of the presentation, I recall this video here, and this gentleman actually, that's before his therapy, and this is after his therapy. It's a program called, I'm pretty sure some of you know, LSVT Big, and I was actually certified in this room. So basically, it's the same exact exit, and as you can see, he kind of froze on coming to the doorway. This video actually inspires me for a couple reasons. First, the area it's taken is where I went to school, USC, and it was a faculty practice there. And second, the gentleman that you see in the video is actually someone that I've been blessed to be able to meet, and as well as his wife, and he's just so inspirational. As you can see, he's doubled his distance of walking. And there he is, getting into his car, and he's going back to the clinic. He's like, I want some more. Let's stop this. So the reason I share this with you today is not to, tell you, hey, do big. It'd be great, but I don't want to necessarily promote this. I just merely want you to understand that you can get results like this. It's possible. And whatever program you choose to do, it's not about doing exercise 3 times a week for 1 hour a day versus doing exercise 10 minutes a day for 6 days a week. The point here is to be held accountable to your program and stick to it and be motivated, because at the end of the day, you are doing this exercise for yourself. So I'm not saying that doing medication is, sorry, I lost my train of thought here. I actually, all things aside, if you guys see, I have a tremor as well, but this is from anxiety of being in front of a lot of people. So I work with a lot of patients with Parkinson's disease, and I realize that a lot of them are so different. They have different personalities, they are affected by Parkinson's symptoms in different ways. And the one thing I came out of it was the success of each individual person came back to one thing, and that one thing was the motivation. The motivation to not let the symptoms control what they can and cannot do. I'm not saying that they weren't aware of their limitations. A lot of them were very aware of the limitations that they had, but they used this to their advantage. And they saw that, hey, this is exactly what my limitations are. Now that I'm aware of it, let me see what I can do to achieve more to improve them. And I mean, I'm very thrilled that they were motivated, but like you all know, exercise takes a lot of effort. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, you cannot only be motivated, because sitting there in a chair motivated won't necessarily get you the results. So, I mean, for that reason, I'm very pleased that there are inventions in medication like Cinemet. Cinemet is a great medication that helps patients kind of monitor and take the surprises, if you would like to say, out of freezes and tremors. But what got these individuals to you know, get through this is within physical therapy is the fact that this medication can be scheduled, and physical therapists can schedule their appointments and get the most benefit out of this therapy. But you know, it wasn't the medication that necessarily helped them get these outcomes. It was the commitment to exercise. Committing to programs like BIG, even though I know this is very, very intense. And you know, I'm not saying the only way you get outcomes like this gentleman over here is not necessarily by performing programs like this, because this program right here is actually a 4-week program where individuals commit to exercising twice a day. And I'm not gonna lie, that's about double the amount that I work out in 2 months. You know, it's pretty intense. And you know, the key thing here is not that you should be doing it, exercise this many times a day. It's more so committing to your program that, you know, hey, look, I can do this. I can exercise maybe 10 minutes a day or 1 hour a day. Whatever that may be, that commitment is what's going to get you through that exercise program and gain sustainable changes. So I'm not saying, you know, get rid of the medication. I'm saying that, you know, like medication, exercise takes out the surprise out of the tremors and the freezing. And it's kind of like if you have the medication and you have the exercise and you marry them together, the only thing that you're going to gain is benefiting the best of both worlds. So I hope by now I've inspired or motivated some of you to want to be a little more active. So at this point I would want to go into more detail of how exercise can help you. So, you know, maybe create a new plan or add on to your current plan. So I would like to go into the definition of what exercises do for Parkinson's disease. So in contradiction to a lot of misconceptions, Parkinson's disease does not necessarily mean that individuals' muscles are weakened. You know, it could be in some cases, but unlike other neurological diseases like strokes, spinal cord injuries, or even traumatic brain injuries, an individual who has Parkinson's disease is mainly affected by, like you all know, the tremors, the freezing, and the exercises focus on just that. So these exercises encourage fluid and quick movements, as well as decreasing stiffness, because, I mean, who can't benefit from decreasing stiffness? And so before I give you the examples, I want to stress that these are just examples, and the effectiveness is case by case. So I would like you to try them, and if they don't work, there's millions of exercises out there that you can try. So the first one, I don't know if you guys have the handouts in your package. This one? Okay, so the first one is floor to ceiling. So this one, I'm sure some of you guys have seen the big classes here or elsewhere. It's basically, you're going to bring your hands out, you're going to touch the floor, come all the way up, back, and sometimes individuals like to flick their fingers and count to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then bring it back. So this exercise is mainly to increase mobility, so decreasing overall stiffness across the body, because as we know, with Parkinson's disease, tendency is to kind of punch forward. This forces your arms to kind of stretch back and kind of lift you up, as well as hopefully make you more awake, So the second exercise, the second handout, it's multi-directional repetitive movement, rock and reach. So this one is basically, to basically give you more balance and more fluid movement. So what you're going to do is you're going to stand with 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and you're just going to rock up and down, up and down. And the good thing about these exercises are they're very dependent on what your physical ability is. Some people might be able to only come up to here. Some people might come all the way up there. But you can still do the exercise regardless of where you are, or even if you would like, you can hold the back of a chair and do it with one hand. So up and down. So you still have that support to lean on the chair, but you can still get the effects of your arm reaching all the way back. The third one is actually not on the list, but it's big walking. This one I'm actually going to take this off. So basically it's walking from one side of the room to the other and just walking really big. This is actually the exercise that probably helped this gentleman in the video, because a lot of the times with Parkinson's disease, our the level of the amplitude of your movement and your walking becomes smaller, and you feel like that's your norm. So anytime you take a step any bigger than what you would normally take, you think that it's ginormous, But in reality, it's just a matter of retraining your brain to walk bigger, make bigger movements, give more intent to your movement, or, etc. And the very last one is more so an activity. So continue to do what you love to do. Say you want to play tennis, For example, you play tennis, and it's might not be the same as before you were experiencing the Parkinson's symptoms, but you can still call up a friend, go hit some tennis balls around the court, and if you don't feel comfortable going to the courts, like mothers always say, be a rebel, play it in-house, You can do it, right? So, you can do it. It's just a matter of turning around some of the aspects of it. If not a court, in the house. If not with standing up, sit down and hit a ball with a racket. Either way, it's that activity. It gives you that, not only that cognitive excitement, it also gives you that movement and that activity that all of us want to do. And again, these are all examples. There's millions of exercises out there. So next, I would like to, in short, describe to you how physical therapy can benefit you. So in contrary to a lot of injury-related physical therapy programs like lower back pain or an ankle sprain, Parkinson's disease therapy focuses on something different. It focuses on, some things that are more of a degenerative condition matter. So a lot of people don't really realize, okay, because it is a degenerative condition and it's going to span for a couple years, maybe 10, 15 years, is this short-term physical therapy really going to help me long-term? And the good thing is with physical therapists, it will help both, because a lot of physical therapists train themselves to work on both aspects of current issues, as well as what will be in stores for them in 5 or 10 years. So usually what they do is they first focus on the current issues. So for example, decreasing stiffness, decreasing fenestration, increasing fluid and quick movements, or even increasing strength. But most importantly, decreasing the fear of falling. That one is huge. Once a lot of individuals get over that fear, they're more aware that they know what they can and cannot do, and they won't fear the things that they can do. And once this is addressed, a lot of them usually transition into more long-term issues. So, creating a program, a daily program that an individual can do with stretching or exercises once they complete their physical therapy sessions. So this basically is a maintenance exercise program. And it serves a purpose to allow someone to do specific exercises 5 or 10 years down the line, and they are able to do it themselves, as well as pick back up that piece of paper that they got from their physical therapist. I need a refresher. Let me just go through this. And they're specific to someone who has Parkinson's disease. So 5 years down the line, you can still pick up that same piece of paper and continue with your exercise program. And another thing that a lot of physical therapists who specify in Parkinson's disease do, is, on top of the maintenance program, is they make patients aware of the symptoms that are to come within 5 or 10 years. So, for example, balance. Balance is a very huge tenet of it, and a lot of times you can't really tell where your balance will go 5 years from now, but there are exercises that will help you along that 5-year process. So how can this help you specifically? Like myself, a health coach who motivates and educates individuals, physical therapists want the same end results. They make it a point to optimize your quality of life as well as your functional mobility in order to gain sustainable long-term effects. So you'll feel rejuvenated. And I hope that some of you have been motivated a little bit to be a little more active. And I just have 3 more bottom lines. First, stay active and be active. Motivate yourself to want to have a better personal well-being, because exercise is something that you can control over the progression of your symptoms. Number 2, figure out a program that works for you, whether it is physical therapy or not. It's important that you incorporate these exercises into your daily activity over a long period of time in order to, like I said, feel happier, feel active, be encouraged. And third, there are health coaches like myself, as well as physical therapists, here to help you figure out all the programs that you would like to perform yourself. And you're in a great place, like the Parkinson's Institute, that will cater to your needs, and you can work with people who truly want to see you succeed and know what it entails. So I want to thank you all here for listening to me today, and I hope you gained something out of this. And I definitely gained the joy of presenting to you all this information I have to provide. And thank you.
How fast or how slow you should do those exercises?
It's more important that you do them forcefully. So usually people think that you have to do them really quick, like the ones that I showed there. A lot of people really want to just go fast, fast, fast. But it's more important that you do them forcefully, and the speed will just come. So as long as you put your effort into it, the speed automatically gets put on autopilot. So just do them forcefully, and the speed will come.
What does LSVT stand for?
Lee Silverman voice therapy, right? Voice training. Yeah.
Voice?
Voice training.
Voice training.
Mm-hmm.
So they run 2 programs. There's the Loud, which is the voice therapy program, and we have a therapist on site here, Randy Hoffman, who runs that program. And then their other one is called Big, and that one's the physical therapy program. And so our physical therapist, Marilyn Basham, she uses that program working with Parkinson's patients.
So it's held here?
Yes, so we have both a physical therapist and a speech therapist.
Okay.
I mean, I used to golf and bowl and all kinds of different things. And I just can't see myself doing those. Should I try them?
I think that it's definitely, you should take apart, you shouldn't, that's what I was kind of actually going with the tennis, is that you shouldn't necessarily take everything for what it is. Take what you enjoy from each task. So say, for example, bowling. You really love the motion of bowling. You know, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of bowling alleys out there that will cater to you to have, say, if you don't feel like you have enough balance to hold a 10-pound ball while walking, you know, I'm sure that they cater to you for, you know, sitting while bowling, and you can still enjoy the activities. But I don't feel like you should completely eliminate all the tasks. But I agree, there are some activities as a whole that might not be so effective, but I think you should definitely take apart the tasks that you love. So for example, with yoga, they have a lot of disability yoga where you come in and they have a chair and you do all your yoga on a chair like this height. So they have different things. And there's actually a boxing center. I might email that to you to send, but there's a boxing center, I think it's in Mountain View. I'm sorry?
San Carlos.
San Carlos, yeah, where they do, they have boxing specific to Parkinson's disease. So it's possible.
Do you teach people how to fall safely?
A physical therapist does, yes.
I would think that would be helpful.
Physical therapists definitely do that. So what happens with a lot of physical therapists, what they do is they have a safe environment where they have a padded mat, so you don't necessarily fall, but they don't necessarily teach you how to fall directly. But one thing they do is like they'll help you down on the floor, and they'll teach you to get back up safely, and they'll teach you also different quick movements. So one of them, for example, that I used to use a lot is teaching someone to take a quick step. So not necessarily falling, but say usually people fall forward. So it's a matter of taking a step so you don't fall. So a lot of physical therapists do that. So not.
You teach people to roll, or there are. Then I would think they might feel better about actually falling.
That's a liability. That's a liability, right?
Well, but if you're prepared.
Yep, I agree. Any other? Thank you.